the things that I really loved was the emotional heartbeat and like the theme with Hiccup of feeling like you can't fit in and really learning to embrace what makes you feel different. So I want to know for the both of you, like being in this industry, I want to know like what was that moment for you when you really learned how to like celebrate your differences?
Yeah, I mean, that's an amazing question. What I love so much about Hiccup is, his story is, he just wants to be like everybody else. He wants to fit in. He's not accepted. Once he realizes that, he's different and he accepts that and then everybody else accepts him, I think that's such an amazing journey. And, I went through a version of that growing up, and, Hiccup as a character has helped me a lot and helped so many other people. So the fact I get to step into those shoes is so important to me, and hopefully I can reach, a new generation like the original did to me.
I love it. How about you?
Cute. I think that the wonderful thing about, you kind of constantly have those moments growing up. So, you have a version of it when you're 12, have another when you're 15, have another when you're 20. Like, just kind of constantly embracing the changes that come with you and with aging, and also the things that, like, really stick around and the things that make you different that you've had from when you're little to, when you grow old. And I think there's something actually really cathartic about film and the kind of medium of movies in that way, because it is, seeing, I think that's what's so brilliant about representation, is you kind of see a version of yourself on screen, or something about you that you might not like on screen in a positive light, or just not even necessarily positive, but just seeing it, I think, is really, like, I remember me as a child just seeing Zendaya and being like, oh my god, because I think everyone has a version of themselves, and it is, Hiccup is that for so many kids, of seeing, feeling like an outsider and seeing someone who also feels like an outsider as well. It's really, I think it can actually be really instrumental in embracing the things that make you different. And so I don't know if I have one moment that feels like pivotal to that feeling, but I'm kind of constantly having it all the time. And I think for both of us, the absolute dream is that kids could watch this movie and feel any semblance of that would be incredible.
I mean, spoiler alert, it continues to happen, so it never stops. Okay? But I mean, what was that moment on set? Because this feels like such a big action movie too. I was just like, they were such badasses on screen. So I really want to know, like, what was that moment you were just like, not only am I doing this, like, iconic role, but also, too, like, we making an action movie, honey. Like, we are doing this.
I had that every day.
It was when I saw her do the cartwheels for the first time, and I was like, this is an action movie.
I had that literally every single day. I was like, oh my god, I'm incredible. Because we would do stunts that I just was like, I can't do this, guys, I can't do this. And then we would end up getting around to it, and I would be able to do it, and I would, like, the pride that I felt was
and you see in the movie, and it's so sick.
It's just, I think I was always so worried that it wouldn't, like, because, there is an element of it that, like, it is an action movie, and Astrid, in a sense, is like an action hero in a way, and so that was really stressful, because, it's one thing being able to do a stunt and just execute it, but it's a whole other to do something and make it look kind of effortless, or like, that it's like in your bones to be able to do those things. And I am not that at all. I practically fall over my own feet, and so the idea that I had to do all of that stuff was incredibly stressful initially. But I think that we were on a really wonderful and uplifting crew and cast and everything, and so I think we were all just kind of like bolstering each other all the time. Like, I remember Mason has like a moment where he's like, and it's very much like kind of action, like whatever, where he like walks around and he like turns and goes like, follow me, or follow my lead,
just stick with me.
And it literally, I hope that they have it in a blooper reel somewhere, because Mason did it and we all are like cheering as soon as he walks away.
My mom has it on video.
But because it's just, we were on a set that was really positive, and I think that hopefully you can feel it in the performances.
Look, I like how you're being chill about being an action star, but I think you two are pretty cool. All right, give yourself another pat on the back. But I just want to thank the both of you so much for taking time out of your day to speak with me.
Oh, thank you for coming.
Yeah.
You guys are seriously amazing, and I'm just sending nothing but love and like both your ways. I hope you have the most amazing day ever. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Look, I was here for all of this. I did not know. I know it was like an animated film, but when actually seeing it live action, I was like, oh, y'all giving me some action. I jumped a couple of times watching the movie. Just a little bit. I was just I jumped.
Oh, okay.
I got scared.
Yeah.
The dragons is scary.
They can be. I think that's one of the great things about live action. I think this is a little more grown up. It feels edgier, more visceral. More immediate. Because for me, when I watched the animated, when it came to the action, I would always check out a bit. I'm like, okay, that's fun, but that's for the kids. Not anymore. This action, is worthy of Gladiator. I mean, it's like so it packs that with all the emotion and the personal stories, but it's like damn thrilling.
The third act, I was like, we getting an epic battle. Like, this looks, I really enjoyed it. I was like, yes, do it. But, I mean, good. I love, even outside of the action, I really love this relationship of, like, seeing this guy who is, like, this awesome, badass chief, but most importantly, like, he's struggling being a father. So I really want you to talk about, like, playing this character where you look badass, but also, too, you have those moments like, honey, I don't know how to be a dad right now.
I think that it was fun to be this towering, imposing, intimidating figure and to play all of that, right? All the enjoyment of that and the danger of that. But, yes, he's a leader and he's a warrior, but first and foremost, he's a father. He's not doing a great job. I mean, that's what I love about it, because it examines his struggles and his grappling for his own identity as to who he is. He leads a tribe, but he can't even communicate with his son, and it's breaking his heart. And I think he's so worried for his son, and he's embarrassed by his son. He hates himself that he's embarrassed by his son. So there's a lot of different things going on between these two characters, and them trying to find a way and then not find a way and then find it again. It's very powerful, especially when he's that size. When you see a man that size and you climb into his heart and you see that he's like he's struggling. He's just like everybody else. He's struggling to find a way, trying to do the right thing.
I love that part of it. I called my mom and I was like, girl, are you proud of me? Do you love me? Please, like, I need to hear it right now.
Oh.
But I also, too, I think that it made me think about a lot of times, especially in this business, everyone wants you to kind of conform to be a certain type of person. Right. It's kind of like what Hiccup was going through. I want to know for you, you've done so much. You've, like, done so many great films. Have you ever battled that, like, them wanting you to conform to be a certain type of person? And if so, like, how did you really confront that?
I think there was an element of that coming from somewhere else, a young kid with a different accent, that was up to me to be a grown-up and take myself to another place. I feel like when I went there and I got them and I go, now I can take you to my place. But I kind of had to play their game first, and then I could kind of say, now you can come into my world and experience my uniqueness,
Look, I just want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to speak with me. I appreciate you, and I'm just sending love in light your way. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I feel like I need all of your characters' level of delusion. I feel like they were operating on like a main character energy delusion. And that's what I need to get through life, okay?
And we ain't.
But I don't know. But y'all are.
Thank you.
Okay, come on now.
It took a while for it to be like, oh wait, we're the subplot.
Yes.
It's tough to remember that at times.
Is that when they like film Days Without Us, you're like, I don't understand how that's going to make sense.
Oh no, well, we're all here. What are they shooting?
It was like there was a lot of hours where we're kind of like
not on it.
It's like
not in the movie. Yeah.
It's like Nico and Mason, and they're like filming an intense scene, and there's us in the back, like
Do you remember we actually originally had that? The kiss, their final kiss. They did.
Oh yeah. Can we?
No, I don't think we can.
I was like, how y'all gonna start it?
I'm sorry. That was awful.
That's okay. I wasn't even in that scene anyway. And I'm not. No.
But it was. I think all our characters definitely are like, right. Well, we're ready for our movie. Like we're the Top Dragon Slayers. Amazing. We've done this a couple of times.
I definitely think the twins they know they're in a movie and they think they're the main character.
Yeah.
And then they're like, nah, like we are the shiz.
Yes. Yeah. They were like, this bit will probably be filmed in slow motion. I'll make sure my wig looks amazing.
They were warming up the screen for you guys. To come in and give your magic.
No one gets it.
They don't get it, but I got it.
Thank you so
like,
much. Thank you so much.
Main
We appreciate you getting
characters
it.
right here, okay? I need to know, like, what was that one thing that needed to happen for you to feel like I am finally a Viking now? Like, was it the wardrobe? Was it fighting the dragons? Like, what was that moment for you on set?
We when we first had our fittings and we like did the camera test, we didn't have mud on us, and Alessandra, the brilliant head of makeup designer, was like, he's like, yeah, it's great, but you're all like far too clean.
Mud.
It's like mud, and then like it was after that we were just like grimed up, and I was like, there we go.
That's when I knew I've made it.
Yeah. No, but that was the.
I think it was because it's obviously there were so many departments that were doing such a brilliant job, but it was when everything was like that final polish, the like final level of detail was there. It just felt so like you were so in the world.
Yeah. And they were really like, even with our weapons, we shot a few scenes. Obviously, like these big stone axes, they're kind of made out of like, they're fake. They gave us real weighted ones because they're like, no, they just don't look real. Like they look like you're swinging them around too much. So then now we're just lugging around these heavy ass
We were
weapons.
quite like competent with them, and then they made them heavier, and so we were just like, then like trying to run around. We looked like waddling.
Yeah, there was like one point where you were like, and then they put the weighted one in your hand. You're like,
You're like, and gone.
Yeah.
So, no, you're too cool. You need a...
Just disrespectful, okay? They tried to humble you, but it's okay.
They can't humble someone.
You know what? Thank you.
But I do love that you have this group of misfits, but I like that the story is really about, like, these are the people who really make things their own. Like, these are the people that really need to be celebrated. So I want to know for all of you, like, how do you make sure that you learn to embrace what makes you different?
I don't have any.
I think as well, conversating with Dean and talking about the world and the world, which is Burke, his vision was like, man, there's people from different places all over the world, different shapes, sizes, colors, races, and we come together, and kind of the recruits are kind of an embodiment of generations of people coming together and being like, hey, like we are bigger than just one person. We are doing this together, and I think it really speaks to kind of that and throughout the film, you know, being yourself, being unique, but also being a part of this family, and you see that through the film, you know what I mean? And it is like, it's about dragons, like it's a dragon, like it's a cool dragon movie, but then you look at it more and deeper, you know, with anything.
It is, but you're so right, 'cause it's like a dragon film, but it's got so much heart and such like beautiful messages woven through it of like family and community, and it's like a society like built on bringing all these different people together, and our group of recruits feels like a smaller version of that. So you kind of see like, a microcosm of that Burke in general.
Yeah.
See, and that's why they're the main characters. Look, I just want to thank all of you. First of all, thank you for your energy. I just love me some good energy. But thank you for taking time out of your day to speak with me. I appreciate y'all, and I'm just sending nothing but love in like all your ways. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I love your nails so much.
I have my toothless nails.
Oh, do you? Oh, wait, can we see closer?
I do.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
And you have
great.
like probably all our dragons too, right?
Yes, yeah.
You know, they're there. You just...
Toenails.
Yes.
The color scheme,
Yeah,
okay?
sick.
I just want your character to be my life coach.
Okay, yeah, right.
Just saying.
I think he wouldn't sugarcoat it.
But that's what you need.
I agree. I think if Gobble was alive now, I think he could make a lot of money, and I think he'd have a lot of followers on the gram.
And a lot of like, I mean, I guess he would train more like, I would guess we're not killing dragons anymore.
No,
we're like
a
supporting
dragon
dragons.
could be, you know, it's a euphemism for traffic or grief, ADHD. You know, a dragon could be many things.
I like that. Like how to make it through traffic.
How to train your anxiety.
I think we all need that one.
Yes, it's 1.2 million followers right there.
I really love watching this character come to life, and I really want to know, like, you already playing someone that people love already. Like, how do you really make that character your own?
I'm respectful of what has gone on, and that is kind of the cornerstone and the foundation for then what you kind of add to it, you know. And what I loved about doing this project was the fact that Dean, who wrote and directed amazingly the first kind of animated versions, was really cool when I would say, hey, what about this? Could I try this? Or I think if he had this kind of hand, that would be quite funny. Or I think he's, you know, he's a father to Hiccup. He's in this scene. What if we saw this? This would be quite cool. And he, to his, you know, he would be like, yeah, great. And I think that's really, what's that squeaking?
I don't know.
I feel like someone's cleaning the windows
it sounds like
outside the hotel. Or the squeegee. Oh, fine. Cleaning the wall. What filth. Yeah, I mean, I love the fact that he was secure enough in what he'd done that he allowed us all to add to those characters, you know.
When I was watching it, I was like, you know what? Like, this feels like a huge, like, epic, like, war movie kind of.
Yeah,
it was
right.
like some fun action happening. So, like,
Yeah.
how was it? You know, you're playing this movie. It's supposed to be like this kid's film, but I was like, I'm a little scared.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's probably I think it ramps up. You know, it starts at one thing, and about 2/3 of the way through, you're like, they're having to fight this massive, huge red dragon. And it's like the pacing is really perfect.
I love this message about celebrating like what makes you different.
Yeah.
I think it's so important for kids to learn. I still needed to hear it myself watching it last night. I want to know for you, like having longevity in your career, like how have you learned to celebrate like what makes you different?
I think it's something that's probably I'm working on it every day still, like all of us. You know, it's not. I think it changes day to day, and also getting to a point in your life when you actually allow yourself to enjoy what you've done and to. I always call it like a "that'll do, pig" moment. You know, at the end of Baby, he said "that'll do, pig." But there are times when I physically look in the mirror and I say, "That'll do, pig." And that just kind of says to my spirit, you did all right, you know, because I think there is a big part of me that would never admit that I did all right, you know. But now as I get older, I realise that you're allowed to say you did all right sometimes, but not that often.
Well, I think you did all right.
Thank you.
I think you did fantastic.
That'll
That's
do.
just me.
That'll do, big.
That'll do. I just want to thank you so much. We're going to talk again when you do the spinoff on like how to cope with your anxiety,
Yes.
okay? Because that's something that we need.
How to train your grief.
How to train your grief.
Yeah.
How to train traffic.
Yeah.
All of that.
Okay.
But I just want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to speak with me.
A pleasure. Thank
I'm
you.
sending love and light your way. I hope you have a great day.
I'm enjoying it.
You had me like, I was ready to fight everybody over Toothless. Because I was just like, you're not going to disrespect my friend like this. So, like, it had all the feels there, just like watching the animated one. But I really need to know, like, what are the apprehensions or, like, the fears that you have going into making a live action film of something that fans love dearly?
I think the biggest apprehension we all had was that they would reject it, you know, or that we would fall short of the expectation, because we do have a very vocal, passionate fan base, and you know, no one wants to see their childhoods ruined because we did some sort of lesser than version of a story that they love. So, but it also kept us honest, you know. So we worked really hard to make sure the heart was there, the charm was there, the wonder was there. It's very important.
Is there a specific scene that you're just like, okay, like if we can get this scene right, if we nail this, like they will not drag us on the internet right now? Like, what was that scene for you?
It's hard because there are certain scenes that are very true to the animated movie, and I wanted to make sure that we represented those faithfully because they are key scenes that represent the entire franchise. And I wanted to do those very faithful, almost shot for shot. And there are other moments where I'll take an example of Hiccup walking into the arena to supposedly kill a dragon where the entire populace of Berk has gathered to see him. And he's going to use that moment to teach them that dragons don't need to be killed. That scene exists in the animated movie, but we dialed it up in every way. Every relationship is that much more poignant and intense. And the stunt choreography, the whole thing is a movie within a movie. And I feel like it represents the ambition fulfilled of what a live action version could be.
But you know, when I was watching it last night, you know, especially just how it opens with some action, and I was just like, wow, like it feels so much bigger. It feels so much more real watching this. I really want you to talk about really the action sequences, because we have some really great war scenes, especially even with the dragons, like really building that portion of the film as well.
Scale and scope are the biggest thing when we were revisiting action scenes, and how many Vikings we could get, you know, dressed up and on the ground, and the commitment of Gerard Butler in those scenes. He's never walking around in a costume pretending to be a Viking. He is, you know, he is the chief, and it's that level of commitment. You know, he would call out to everybody, "Come on, give me more!" You know, he was just very passionate about making it feel authentic and truthful, but also grand in scale. And that's a team effort, because there was this stuff that we would shoot with the actors, and then there was a second unit that would come in and shoot the explosions and people jumping out of the way and all of. So it weaves together like a tapestry, and it becomes so much bigger than even I expected.
I love, even with the action sequences, there's some beautiful emotional beats, you know, of really just learning what it means to truly be brave, to exceed, you know, people's expectations of you. So I really want you to talk about crafting those moments because they feel so real. And even that last moment with Hiccup when he realizes what he lost from battle, like that scene just really hit me.
Yeah. Well, this is a story that kind of deals with some tough issues, and one of them is just being a disappointment, you know, feeling in your heart that you don't live up to what people want you to be, whether it's your family or your society, and going on a journey with a character like that who feels like a failure and yet discovers that this weakness could be a strength in disguise is something that is timeless, and it travels the world culturally, you know, being able to think for yourself. So I think Mason Thames embodies that beautifully, and those moments, those scenes with Gerard Butler are so truthful because we allowed them, we sort of created a space for them and just allowed them to pull the performance out of one another. And so yeah, you do have moments like you talked about Hiccup losing his leg at the end of the movie. Like that is something you've seen in the animated film, but I think the way it's delivered in this live action version really hits you in the heart that much more.
Look, thank you so much. Thank you for my therapy session with my mother. I was like, are you proud of me after watching this? But I just want to thank you for taking time out of your day to speak with me. I appreciate you. And I'm sending so much love and light your way. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You too. Lovely to meet you.
It's so great to meet you.